consider any business that comes before it. You've advertised it as initially a committee meeting. You also adopted rules for the conduct. The council did approve on September 11th a set of rules for the conduct of your meetings. And in those rules, it indicates that there will be no voting at committee meetings. So it was advertised as a committee meeting. As I understand it, Madam President earlier this week placed an advertisement to advertise it as a regular council meeting. Whether it's conducted as a committee meeting or regular council meeting is something that must be designated by the council as a whole. So that's just my recommendation, is that council consider whether or not to conduct the committee meeting or the regular council meeting.
It was the January.
Mr. Solicitor, I'd like to make a motion that we make this meeting a non-voting workshop committee meeting with public input only.
I second it.
Motion on the second on the floor.
Can we have a discussion?
Debate on the motion is proper.
Okay. No, Martha, you know what? These people they throw mud, but they're not following the law. Because basically, a couple of years ago, they got rid of the workshop. The only people who are allowed to have a workshop now is the auditors. So we're either having a committee meeting, and we're not having committee meetings individually where people can go and be a part of it. You understand what I'm saying? If I'm sitting here, like Blue said, I don't have no rights, but I do, because the people still elected me. And I'm reading from the book. I'm reading from the law.
Did you hear how the motion was
Could you
read?
read that, please?
Excuse me.
With
Read it
public
into the
input.
record.
I said public input.
And this is what I'm saying. I am talking. Every time I am recognized by the president, everybody got something to say. The bottom line is whether it's a committee meeting or a regular meeting, because they don't even recognize it as a legislative. It's a public advertised meeting. And if it's a public advertised meeting and we as an agency have to do business, there can be a vote. There can be. That's the law. That's the sunshine law. And it is. It is the law. It is the law. You know, and I don't come no more just
How do we
talking.
hire all these people
You gotta-
without even having votes?
My point,
Huh?
see, this is what I'm
Well,
saying.
just show me
Whenever
how
you
much
come and
people
tell them
have
the law, they want to start throwing
Yeah,
mud.
we had plenty
They want to
people hired
start
without
throwing
votes.
mud.
There's a motion and a second on the floor.
Do you have a question or a story?
We're doing discussion.
A question or a story?
We're doing discussion, and I just
Well,
read
ask your
out.
question then.
You want to know something, Paul? You
What,
sat
Jeanette?
here for 18 years.
That's
and you,
correct.
And
17.
you want to scream and holler.
17.
But in 2007,
Right.
you took 2 loans out.
Yeah, okay.
That
Don't
took
start
the
on that.
whole
No.
borough down.
Oh, yeah, right,
$500,000
yeah.
in tax anticipation
Okay.
that we never really were ever recovered from.
All right, don't start about money. You got no room to talk, Jeanette Bright. You
There's a
got no room
motion.
to talk, lady.
Madam President,
No
there's a
room at all.
motion and a second on the floor.
Vote on the motion.
Is there any more discussion? Roll call.
She's supposed to call it. You're not the president.
I'm the secretary, I'm
You're
the
not-
manager.
she is not
This has
supposed
been my
to
job
do
for
it.
11 months.
President,
I
take the
call the
vote.
roll.
President.
That's what you're supposed to do.
Madam President, if you call for
Where's the Madam President sitting right there?
No, she's
Well,
not.
Madam President
Very
isn't
secretary.
answering.
if there's.
You're not
is there
speaking, Madam
is there any more
President.
discussion
And Paul,
on the
no one's
motion?
talking to you.
Well,
son.
let's take the,
You have
there's been a
order.
motion made and seconded.
All right, is there any more
Let's take the
debate?
roll call vote.
Any more debate or discussion on the motion?
You got so much to say right now.
Okay.
How many years you been on?
You want to change presidents, then we'll change presidents,
Then
Madam
change it.
President.
Put it on the table.
Okay, next week.
Put it on
We
the
can't
table.
vote
Change
tonight.
it.
We can't vote
We can
tonight.
vote tonight.
No, we
Motion
can't. It's a
and a second.
non-voting meeting.
Put it on the table, Paul.
Take
The
the roll
motion,
call.
Mr. Lesher.
All right, what are we voting on?
The
better not
motion,
scared.
the motion
I didn't
is
say you were.
that we continue on with the publicly advertised schedule that was publicized in January, that this is a committee
Hey.
workshop,
It's in my
not a
heart,
voting.
Colwyn.
Oh, really? 17
Yes.
years.
Yeah.
and
Mr.
what do you got to
Brunger.
show us?
42
Mrs.
years.
Camara.
42, get it
What do
right.
you have?
Madam
I got a lot to
President,
show for
Oh,
it.
really?
Madam
You want to
President,
put your record on the line against mine?
Madam President,
No.
Change. This
Mrs.
is
Pray.
not gonna change. No.
Mrs. Van
I don't
Auken.
even know what the motion was.
The motion is that we continue on with the advertised schedule in January, that this is a committee workshop, it's not a voting meeting.
Advertised as a council.
It's a committee workshop, that's what the motion was for. Mrs. Van Auken?
I voted no.
Mr. Muser?
Yes.
Motion carries 4-3. Okay.
You have so much to say, Mrs. Brown.
I'll talk, I thought you were talking to me, I'm sorry.
Answer me, I've been asking you for 3 weeks for a committee meeting for the budget. Tell me how come we
Next
haven't
week it'll
had
be
it yet.
presented.
May I answer you, Madam
Yes, you
President?
Go ahead.
You have not been asking me for 3 weeks. At your last meeting, you stated,
You want me to show
and
you
it's
the
in the
email?
minutes, and it's on video on YouTube,
I'm gonna
that
show you
you,
the
Mr.
email.
Lesher, and Mrs. Kamara were going to put the budget together, okay? I was not involved in that, so
Excuse me, I have
Wait, tell her.
you, Mrs.
Okay,
Brown.
listen, may I? You asked me a question, are you going to let me answer?
Not really.
I put the budget together, and what I discovered
How
was,
can you put it together without council?
Recommend.
that proves that you have no idea what putting together a budget is. Council has no idea how to put the budget together. That is my job, because I have to take each bill.
That are letting
You asked me a question, are you going to let me answer?
Oh, God.
Okay? They're letting you.
I put the budget personnel salaries together. You had police officers last year were sleeping in the police stations. They were coming in and signing in and leaving, which cost $508,736. It's on the paper. That's the budget. This year, this council, these 4 individuals slashed $309,000. That's where your tax dollars went. Cops, those cops are no longer here. We have a good police department now. Just like Mr. Lesher said, we were hiring bodyguards for people that were not hired.
All right, Paul.
That's your
Budget will
budget.
be read next week.
Ms.
Tell
Brown,
them.
Madam President, where we are with the vote, it's the council's gonna proceed as a committee meeting.
Workshop, right.
According to Section 5 of your rules relating to meetings that the council adopted, the committee meetings, committee reports by the chair of the committee, or in the chair's absence, another committee member may contain motions approved by the committee and a general report on committee activities. Motions may be added to the agenda during a committee report if appropriate to the committee's business, as long as the appropriate public comment is permitted. Likewise, items may be added to the published general report of the committee as the committee chair sees fit. All motions must be recognized by the presiding officer. Format for committee workshop meetings may be informal and is covered by an agenda set by the president and council. Committee meetings start out with a report from the chair, followed by public participation, followed by comments from council in an orderly fashion. No votes may take place at committee workshop meetings. So I think where you're up to is in terms of any report from the committees.
Well, I have a question for our finance
Go
chair,
ahead.
okay? I'd like to know, first of all, I don't see what we have in the bank. And I want to personally know, if you personally know what's in our account.
No, I don't personally know.
Okay, now, my second question
The
is,
financial chairman who actually cut almost $500,000 out of the budget within in the first 48 hours. I've cut. Watch the gasoline that went into people's cars. Watch credit card receipts with Lottie's. Okay? And I do. I'll refer to the
Does he have any evidence? No, he doesn't have any evidence, but he just thrown it
I
out
don't have
there.
any evidence.
my question
I don't have any
is,
evidence. This raised the taxes $500 in one shot. You set the Delaware County record. And believe me, that's hard to win.
State record,
My
Fred.
next
State
question-
record.
my
The state
next
record.
question
And while
is-
your friends that live in Mulligan Hill, New Jersey, lived all in the fancy neighborhoods in Philadelphia, milked a bunch of poor people.
My next question
Okay?
is,
That's what happened. That's what the financial chair
my
is looking out
next
for.
question is,
Okay?
my next question is, and it's even including myself.
Mhm.
Can anyone on council tell me what their duties are, other than letting Paula Brown run this town.
Paul Brown doesn't run, man.
Yes, she
doesn't run,
does.
man. No, she
Well,
doesn't.
Brenda, I asked you a question, you said you don't know.
You know what, I didn't review anything tonight. A lot of nights when I come to the meetings, I got it right in front of me. I don't have it in front of me tonight. At a
When it's a
regular
committee meeting.
Well, I should have had it, but a lot of nights I have how much is in the bank, how much is in the plague.
That comes at the council meeting.
We're not
Committee
talking,
meeting,
Paula, this is.
Madam
between
President, may I have the
council.
floor?
No, this is a count, I'm talking to another council.
you're asking questions.
Mr. Lesher has the floor, let him finish his comments.
Okay, I don't have it in front of me. I could go ask Paul to go get it for me right now.
Absolutely.
Go press the button and go get it, and she could tell me. All I know is we're running short and we have to cut. And we have to cut, and I want to cut next week. I want to cut 3 jobs in this borough next week.
And let me ask you a
Next
question.
week.
There you go,
Let me ask
Fred.
you another question.
The ones-
We're talking about finances, okay?
Yes.
Okay, so whatever Paula tells you, that's what you believe will be
If it's written.
Why is it
Right.
that one person controls all the finances? No one else knows what's going on in the finances.
Madam President,
No, you cannot. I'm talking to a council member.
I'm the borough treasurer. It's my job.
Talking to
You had Martha as the treasurer and $500,000 went out the window.
Finish, then you can respond.
You were.
Out of order. Don't
Go ahead, Fred, you can
recognize her.
respond, then,
Go ahead.
go ahead, Freddie.
Nobody's telling me
This is
what
crazy.
to do. It's just like when you have
Respond to the
just
questions.
People that work for you, they do their job. Just like I know a lot of people that worked in this borough, previous to the fact, didn't do their job, and that's why they went down the road. Paul's putting the budget together. Does she give me numbers every month? Do I call her up and ask her how much money's in the account? I don't have it in front of me. I actually got other things.
I'm gonna bring it up right now for you.
How come that's not privy to everyone?
It is privy, you get a report every month. You're lying, just like you lied to the residents with that flyer.
Why don't I have this?
You don't have it at the committee meeting. You know what the committee meeting is. The committee meeting is for the residents. They are supposed to talk to council. Council gives the report on the finances next week at the council meeting. That's the procedure.
Why don't you give everything?
Madam President.
Because I'm doing my job 7 days a week. 7 days a week here.
May I be recognized, Madam President?
These cops are doing their jobs.
Solicitors.
The highway department's doing their jobs.
I've just been.
First time in 6 years.
I've been recognized.
Pick one of them. Here, relax, relax.
I've been recognized by the president. Can I ask the question?
Go ahead.
Solicitor, I would like to see the bank accounts. Am I not a council person, and do I have a right to see the statements from the bank?
Get them every month.
Statements from you for 6 years. Not a statement.
You would be able to view the bank statements, yes.
Then I would like you to come out here, and I would like to view all of the bank statements as a council person.
So you can see your cash withdrawals last year with your credit card? I'll give you that. I'll give you 25 copies of that.
She throwing mud.
$300,000 in cash withdrawals from a credit card.
Ask for something.
You'll get it.
Report from the,
There's $180,000, $891.74 in the tax account. There's $23,228.60 in the payroll account.
I guarantee you, there is nobody that's going to get $2,000 a week in overtime, like when you were president of council.
Yes.
Okay?
That's
I
right.
think I don't catch everything, but I won't miss that.
Just
Okay? I wouldn't miss that.
Mr. Brundage has been recognized
Go ahead,
for
Jack.
any-
I have a question for finance.
Mr. Brundage is
Finance, we still
recognized.
finance?
Go ahead.
No, she
Can I-
recognized.
Go on.
We don't know what we're
Mr.
on.
Finance Chairman, from my understanding, I think there's gonna be a reading of the budget next week, a rough draft, a preliminary budget.
That's correct.
On next Thursday.
I put a heater in this
That's
week.
correct.
Thank you, Mr. Finance Chairman. Thank you, Fred.
Mr. Brundage was recognized.
I think we were up to, you'd recognize Mr. Brundage for any reason.
Go ahead, Mr. Brundage.
With the Public Safety Committee,
Ms. Muser, can you give them?
Yo, quiet in out there. Man speaking.
didn't hear what he said back here.
Speak up a little, Jess.
We didn't hear.
Mr.
He
Brundage,
hasn't said any, Mr. Brundage hasn't said anything yet, because
I'm
everyone's
waiting
been
for,
talking.
Go ahead.
the dust to settle here.
go ahead.
Takes a lot.
The Public Safety Committee, the only thing that's going on is, Mayor Blue and I have been, talking to, applicants that we really need to fill in, the, police force, and, at this point, Chief Hills is still, completing the other things with them, like, different kinds of background checks and everything. So as soon as he's ready, we'll bring the applicants to council, and council will be able to talk to them. And that's about it. for public
Toys for
safety.
Tots? Toys for Tots?
No, the police department.
I'm reminding the public safety chairman about the Toys for Tots program under the police department. Are you
Toys
telling?
for Tots is under the fire department.
No, it isn't. No, it isn't. The police department, the police department is the authorized representative. Oh, my God. Fighting over Toys for Kids.
For years, it was.
If anyone wants an application, I have applications for children up to 12 years old. The police department is sponsoring the Toys for Tots program.
You're out of order.
Jesse, I have a question.
It's actually run by the Marine Corps,
That's right.
United States Marine Corps. A lot of good friends of mine.
Jesse, you're
She
just.
switched to NASA.
No, she.
I was listening to the screaming. I have a question for you.
Go ahead, Jess.
May I ask a question? Thank you. I had mentioned to Officer Drucker, I've lived in this borough for over 40-some years, and never have I sat outside and handed out candy and not seen a patrol car come by at least every 10, 15 minutes. This year I sat outside for 2 hours. I live on 4th Street, which is a main street coming into Colwyn, right before a stop sign that has to be either a left turn or right turn. You need to stop. I saw no police officers for 2 hours. I had cars going up and down that street doing 30, 40 miles an hour, children crossing in the dark. Not one police officer was on 4th Street for 2 hours.
Okay, where was it, Martha? 4th and what?
I live between Ellis Avenue and Colwyn Avenue. That is a main strip, and you can't get down to the 500 block unless you go down maybe 2nd or 3rd. But most people come down 4th, turn on Ellis, and then go down to the newer homes.
So
No police officer came up that hill past Judge Gannon's house. No police officer came up Thatcher Avenue. No police officer came up Ellis Avenue. No police officer came past my house for 2 hours.
Okay, I'll talk to the chief about it and see what he
Now
says.
that
Madam
we talk
President.
then we talk about how the kids are important and how their safety is important on a night, not a day when they're going to school, but a night when they're out trick-or-treating and someone wearing masks where they can't even see, or they're running across the street and you've got cars coming down there doing 40 miles an hour. I think it's more important to have someone on the street that night than having someone on the street that day.
Madam President, may I?
Ms. Van Arken, can I ask you a question on that? If you don't mind? You do have a